Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our property analysis series. It has been a very exciting start to the new year in terms of new launches. We started the year with the launch of the Ori.
Yes.
And now we have ELTA and Parktown. Of course, today we'll be talking about ELTA. January was the Ori. That means before that we have the Christmas and the New Year, right? We are working throughout to prepare the Ori. So now once the Ori launched and it had a very successful launch of 87% sold on launch day.
Yay.
Now we are actually moving on during the Chinese New Year period. We are working on ELTA and the Parktown residences lah. So
work never stops.
Work never stops, even if it's Christmas or Chinese New Year this time around. Okay, so a bit about ELTA and Parktown residences. ELTA is in Clementi Avenue 1, and then Parktown residences is an integrated development in Tampines North. But for Parktown, we will be covering it more in the next video that we are gonna make.
Yeah.
So today we are just gonna focus on this project called the ELTA. It's a high-rise development, very similar to Ori. And also it's the last harmonized plot of land along the Clementi Avenue 1. So ELTA hosts about 501 units. Okay, and also there are 2 blocks of 39 stories.
That's very high.
The TOP date actually is 2029. So I think it makes sense because it's a high-rise building. It will take a bit longer to build. So this is a joint venture of MCL Land and CSC Land. Both very reputable developers, and also both are very active currently in the projects. For location-wise, ELTA is located here. This plot, as you can see from the map, one look, right, you can see this is an education hub. It consists of tertiary schools, consists of international schools, and as well as primary school, which we will zoom in further later. To be honest, it's also not very near the MRT station. You'll take maybe about 10 to 15 minutes to walk there. But however, this Clementi Avenue 1, if you are into the news for the last 5 to 10 years, you know these 2 projects called the Clavon and the Clement Canopy.
Yes.
Why you know is not just the location, it's because of the profit or the appreciation they had for the past few years, which is quite fascinating for a project that is not near the MRT. Okay, so for Clementi itself, be it condo or be it like a HDB, right, it's also very highly sought after. Like for the West, people who want to stay in Clementi, I feel it's the same effect as how people feel in the East, like Katong. Like people who want to buy into Katong to stay there. So like people in the West love Clementi.
It's a key neighborhood center. I feel people go there also for the amenities. And it's just very nice. Everything just all there together. The bus interchange, the MRT interchange. Then you have the mall as well. And then surrounding it, we also have like park and all that. So it looks like a very nice location to be at.
Yeah, talking about amenities, of course, Clementi is a very matured town. Meaning to say amenities is everywhere, which we actually will go through why this is important when you buy a project.
Yes.
ELTA is located over at this plot. So we have Clavon and Clement Canopy just right beside. Okay, so in between these 2, actually there will be a Nanhua High and your Nanhua Primary. Okay, so it's actually located very near the NUS vicinity. So the right side is the plot of NUS High and also the main campus of NUS. Okay, so left side will be more towards the MRT. MRT is this location. So your swimming complex or Clementi Stadium is over here. So just now we actually mentioned about education hub, but I want to zoom in further today about primary schools because I feel education hub, you can go from kindergarten all the way to university or even after university education. But why I want to focus on primary school, because primary school, to us, we feel that actually is non-negotiable. Because for primary school, your kid will be more dependent on you. So wherever they want to go, or like you pick them to school, or like bring them back, you will be needed lah. You can't actually let the kid to come back alone. Of course, about the convenience, about the logistics, like you fetch your kids. Secondly, also of course, primary school is the one chance actually as parent you want to give your kid a good head start. That's why you need a good primary school around you. That will benefit you. So as for primary school wise, for ELTA, right, there are 6 primary schools within a 2.5 km radius. There are 2 primary schools, which is Clementi Primary and Peitong Primary within 1 km. Like we mentioned in the Ori video, Education Hub gives you consistent demand for your property. Why? Because new batches of P1 going every year. So every year there will be new set of parents that would want to buy into this unit for the schools that I've actually mentioned, like Nanhua, Heitong, and also Henry Park, which is also not too far away from ELTA itself.
Yeah.
So I break it down further to other education institutions. So we also have tertiary and international schools around the corner. Why I want to mention this too, because this will actually fetch your, or rather gain your rental pool. So for tertiary international, we are not just looking at students, we're also looking at foreign staff or expats who are actually working in these schools to actually create your tenant pool. So for staff, you have to work in Singapore, you have to rent. And for students, you have to study, you have to rent somewhere very near here. So that will actually support your rental demand consistently. Because same thing, every year there is a different cohort. There is staff turnover. So I think Clementi is really very, very rich with amenities. Within the radius, actually, there are a few hawker and market over here, which most of the central core region projects doesn't have.
Yeah.
Okay, they might have their posh shopping centers, they might have the high-class restaurants, but if you want to find Hokkien Mee, can you find it in CCR? Or in core region, you can't. Maybe Lau Pa Sat, but Lau Pa Sat will actually overcharge you. So one of the main reasons why the past few years, the outside central region projects are doing better is because of this. If I stay in the central, how do I buy things? How do I go to the supermarket? How do I buy my hawker food? And of course also because of the stamp duty, the whole economy has changed for the core central region. So people who are investing or own stay, right, actually they are looking more towards suburb or like your heartland. Okay, so that's why you see a lot of the suburb projects, right, they are doing very well or they did very well. Okay, so for Clementi itself or for ELTA itself, it's nearby 6 malls, including Clementi and Star Vista, which are the more prominent ones. Of course, if you are Westie and then you know the West well, West Coast Plaza and also One Holland Village gives you a lot of things that they can offer. So just reinforcing what we talked about tenant pool. So tenant pool, one part is just about the schools and also people who are working in the schools. What about people who are just working in the other industry? So if you have not known, actually Buona Vista is what people name it as like a mini Silicon Valley. A lot of new tech startups are actually starting there. Prominent ones are your Shopee is there. And also many other IT or like AI companies are actually hosting their office there. How does it benefit you if you want to buy into ELTA? Of course, if you're buying as an investment, you want to be a landlord over there, you want to rent out a unit, I don't think you have to worry so much about the tenant pool that might affect you because there are so many things coming up. There are so many job opportunities that you can expect in Jurong area. Jurong will be the second CBD. More towards the west, there will be a Tuas Port. Tuas Port will be, it's not so near, but it's actually working towards being the biggest port in Asia.
Wow.
The Jurong Island and also the NTU, your Jurong Industrial Estate is already here. So when you actually buy in here and you TOP, right, you don't really have to worry like how can you rent it out because there are so many tenant pools over here. So now we touch a bit on the tender result and the developer profile. Why the tender result is important is because we want the land that is highly sought after by developers. As you can see, CSC and MCL land won the bid. That's why they are the developers of ELTA. The second place is CDL, Fraser and Sekisui. This is the same team that actually won the ORI and then they successfully launched the ORI. So the difference between these two, how much only? Is about 4%.
Oh, very close.
Okay, 4%. Why we are so concerned about the gap between first and second, right? We don't want the first one or the winner to overbid. So when you overbid, that means the developer will sell higher because they want to retain the profit margin. MCL land, the most recent projects they have is Nava Grove and Tembusu Grand. Nava Grove is also within Clementi. It's more towards Dover area. So yeah, they are very, very active. And secondly, for CSC land, they have Twinville and Verdale, which are also in the west. So they know this area actually pretty well. So for their site plan, it's very straightforward. The north is this side. So we are talking about the north view and the south view here. Same again, it's very similar to the ORI, but the pool view is at the south direction or the south view lah. So when you buy into south view, most of the units you'll be able to get the pool view as well. The north view is along Clementi Avenue 1. This is your Nanhua school. I think it's the primary school. So this is also very important. I will tell you why. Important because it matters because of the views that you're gonna have. So for the unit mix, for 1 and 2 bedder usually are for investors who want to rent out to be landlords. So they actually stands about 43%. Okay, for bigger units or more towards own stay actually stands about 57%. Okay, I will say it's quite even, but take note that for 3 bedder it's only 21%. This is something very different from a lot of other projects because some of the projects have more 3 bedder. 21% is 1 out of 5. I think to get a 3 bedder here, unless you have a better number, is not as good, right? I think it's gonna be hard to get a 3 bedder. But one good thing is actually the 4 bedder has a lot of different layout for you to choose from. I feel the layouts are quite purposeful whereby they actually cater to what you need. Be it like a big family or a small family, or like maybe you want to do a renting out. Because there's a dual key unit also, so that you can also do a part stay, part rent out strategy also. For Clementi Avenue 1, 3 projects, Clavon, ELTA and Clement Canopy. So why ELTA, the position is better because when you look out from north or south view, right, it gives you a better unblocked view because of these two, Nan Hua High and Nan Hua Primary. Okay, whereas the Clement Canopy or Clavon, right, when you look up, when you go north or south, right, actually they are more blocked because of the buildings around. So that means this is the most well positioned out of these 3 lah. So north and south, you'll be looking at the schools here and here. Because schools are lower floor or like shorter than other buildings lah. So actually you can get a better setback or a better unblocked view. You don't need a very, very high floor to clear the unblocked view lah. So for your north view, for high floor, right, this is a roof level, so it's about level 39. So high floor, you can actually see a bit of the Bukit Timah Hill. And then for the lower floor, for the north view, right, which is along the Clementi Avenue 1, right, you will see the school. My personal take actually, I think the north view, lower floors, actually gives you a very good view lah. It doesn't have a very bad view for a low floor unit. But however, for the high floor unit, right, I would say that the north side of this ELTA, right, there are also a lot of taller buildings like here. Okay, it doesn't really give you a super good unblocked view in my opinion lah. And the Bukit Timah Hill actually is quite far, so you have to really zoom in and go and see. Then for south view, lower floor is okay, but it's just that concerning is the expressway. It's just right beside. So if you are buying into a low floor, you might expect expressway, and sometimes if it's too low, right, the expressway sound it can get quite loud lah. Okay, so this is a risk that you have to take note of. Then of course for the south view, higher floor, right, of course this will be a better facing, a better view here lah compared to these two. Okay, so for my personal take, actually for view wise, firstly you want to take this view if you can, buy a south view high floor. South view high floor also gives you a pool view because in ELTA the pool view is facing the south. Okay, second, I might want to go for this one or this one, or rather the north view, high floor or low floor. I think north view, high floor or low floor is not like fantastic, but I feel like it's very safe because north view low floor is looking at the schools and then the grand entrance, and also there's I would say it's still quite good compared to many projects that offer low floor. So because most of the projects low floor, right, usually they will see the next building immediately. The setback won't be that far. Okay, for this north view low floor, right, I think it's still okay. Then of course the third one I will actually choose the north view high floor. Okay, then I will actually try to avoid the south view low floor because of the expressway. Expressway sound and plus the pool view, if you are staying at second floor or third floor and then you're just right beside the pool, it might get quite noisy on weekends also. Actually, Clavon is now top of the town because Clavon just TOP from last year end lah. Their profit margin is quite good in the sense whereby you see for your 3 bedder, right, you can exit at about 500,000. You 2 bedder, you exit about 250,000. Actually, it's very, very healthy for a project that is not near the MRT. Okay, and of course, Before that, there's Clementi Canopy. Clementi Canopy also fetching the same type of appreciation when Ethiopians. So there's something about Clementi Avenue 1 that actually appeals to the buyers out there. So we also must take into account that actually Clavon launched during the COVID period. So when COVID period, everything started to escalate. So it also benefited and also helped with this healthy profit that the owners are getting now. And now we zoom into the layouts of different unit types. First up, we are actually at the 1 plus study for ELTA. Okay, 1 plus study ELTA is north facing. There's only one stack of 36 units. Just take note that the 4th floor for this stack actually has an extra RC ledge. I can show you offline about the differences. Is the difference here. Okay, so for ELTA, it comes with a very, very standard layout with an open kitchen concept coming to the dining, and then of course as a master. Okay, I think it's a very, very common one, except for the washer dryer actually is placed there. If you are looking to segregate the kitchen and the washing or your laundry, right, I think it's a good layout for your kitchen and washer. But however, if we are actually to refer to Clavon, actually Clavon gives you a very, very similar layout. I think a very boxy one for these two. And for Clavon, the study area is here. For your ELTA, the study area is here. I would prefer the study to be in the master room, because this one could be my storage. It could also be me just have a private area for me to work, and then once I work, then I can go back to the bedroom for rest.
Or your own man cave.
For my own man cave, I think it's more private.
Yeah.
Whereas for ELTA, it could like a storage.
Or dry kitchen.
Dry kitchen, or maybe it can be a mini dining area also.
It's a very open nook lah. Open.
Okay, so depends on which one you like. If you are looking at buying in one bedder in this area, so that's the only big difference. Other than that, for Clavon, right, 527 square feet, right, is before harmonization. Harmonization meaning to say it counts the aircon ledge. Okay, you are buying into the aircon ledge, but however harmonized like ELTA, you don't buy into the aircon ledge. So if I were to use the harmonized calculation, this will have about 501 square feet usable. Whereas for my ELTA, right, it's 506 square feet. So actually it's about the same size. And the difference is only the study position. And Clavon is TOP 2024. And then your ELTA is 2029. Okay, but however, I feel it's just side by side. Definitely Clavon will be cheaper. Okay, so the difference is the price. If you are looking at 1 plus study to just rent out, right, I really see no difference, because when a tenant come and view, right, the 5 years gap doesn't matter to them, because it's the same layout, and then the age of the property doesn't vary so far. But if I'm a rental investor, if let's say both of these doesn't matter to me, right, if I buy Clavon at a cheaper price, that means I have better rental yield. Okay, so this is what you should take note if let's say you want to buy one bedder here for rental. Okay, so we further analyze on the 1 plus study, right? So in these 3 projects, right, there are only 108 1 plus study. Clementi Canopy has no 1 plus study. So if you are talking about along this Clementi Avenue 1, right, there's only 6.5% of the total units that is 1 plus study. So it's not oversupply, or rather actually the supply is very low here compared to other places. Most of the investors out there, they might say like, oh, you buy 1 plus study, you can't really earn money. Why they never earn money from that particular 1 plus study is because one of the main reasons actually is the oversupply. So when there's a lot of 1 plus study out there in the same area, right, definitely your profit will take a hit lah, or like your exit strategy will take a hit, because it might take longer to exit, to sell your property. Capital appreciation, actually it won't affect that much because of the low supply here. If you're talking about Clavon, some of the units were sold in the past 7 months. Some of them, right, is sub-sale unit. What I mean by sub-sale is the unit is not ready yet. You can sell it on paper itself. There are people who are selling already. So why did the transaction happen is because firstly, the price is accepted by sellers, meaning to say they have actually reached the price that they want to sell to profit. and demand from buyers. That means like a lot of people or like a lot of buyers willing to offer at that price. Clermont recently has launched 1,009 per square feet, but if you were to change it to a harmonized calculation, right, it's about 2,000.
What's harmonization?
Harmonization is basically you don't buy into the aircon ledge. You only buy in the usable area, but for Clermont, you buy the usable area plus the aircon ledge. Okay, so technically, for harmonized project, it might seem that you are buying at a higher PSF, but it's not when you actually translate those non-harmonized project back to this calculation. The PSF for ELTA, for harmonized project, for our indicative price is actually about 1,003 to 1,006 PSF. Okay, same thing for the Ori. Why is there a range? It's because from the first bottom floor all the way to the highest floor, so it's about 39 stories. If you are to just purely rent, actually we will advise to buy Clermont because you will actually still fetch the same rental yield, or rather the same rental rates every month. Despite it being 101 new, it's still at the same place. But if you're looking to buy and then for own stay, actually you might want to consider because this will be the newest project along Clementi Avenue 1. Okay, so now we zoom into the 2-bed 1-bath. It comes with 2 stacks. One is at stack 11, one is stack 7. Both are different facing. One is north facing and one is the south facing. South facing, of course, you'll be expecting pool view. Okay, so their bottom floor actually either have an extra RC ledge or is a PES unit, meaning to say the difference in balcony. So we can show you the layout if you are keen to know more about these two differences. Okay. This 2-bed 1-bath is very similar. It's a dumbbell layout. The difference actually is the foyer. The B1 here will look longer for the foyer, so it will give you like a longer, more spacious kind of feel when you come in. Whereas the 2-bed 1-bath B2, right, will give you a narrower one. Okay, apart from the foyer, right, or the foyer differences. The difference is only between the dining and the kitchen configuration. So for B1, the kitchen and dining is paired like this. For B2, right, the dining and the kitchen is aligned like this. So depends on your preference on how you want to display your dining table. But other than that, there won't be much of a difference between these two units. Okay, so now we just lay out all the 2-bed 1-bath. They are more similar in these 3 projects, ELTA, Clermont, and Clement Canopy. So if let's say we can agree that actually all these 3 layouts are the same because they are 2-bed 1-bath, all of them are actually your dumbbell layouts. The only difference is their TOP year and also their size. Okay, so for the Clement Canopy, it has a 2-bed 1-bath, 235 square feet. If you were to change it to harmonized calculation, it's about 604 square feet usable space. Okay, this one also is northeast facing and no pool view. Level 9 actually transacted in November at 1.12 million. So if you also change it to a harmonized PSF, actually it's about 1,008 PSF that they sold. For Clermont, which is 5 years newer, 678 square feet and approximately 644 square feet usable space. Same thing, north facing, no pool view, very similar to Clement Canopy. Level 8, so at 1.325 million in January so last month. Harmonized PSF is about 2,000. So if you compare these two, 5 years difference, same view, almost the same size and the same configuration, meaning to say dumbbell layout, right? The difference is 203 PSF. Okay, so now we go into ELTA, which is also coincidentally the same. When it TOPs, right, it will be 5 years newer than Clermont. If I were to have buy a B1614 unit, same thing, northeast facing, no pool view. If I were to buy into the same level 8 or 9, if I use the 203 PSF to add on to here, right, that means it's 2058 plus 203 is 2261 PSF. So if let's say 2261 is launched, or rather ELTA launched their 2-bed 1-bath at 2002, right? Do you think it's an okay buy? If let's say it really happens, right, it's really definitely okay buy based on what we saw for Clement Canopy and Clermont. But However, now we still don't have the indicative or like the launch price yet. But of course, this 2-bed 1 bath is to look out for, because I think for this bedroom 2-bed 1 bath, right, be any floor level, if it's a north facing, I feel anything below 2003 actually you can consider, based on the movement between Claiborne and Clement Canopy lah. So now we have come to the 2-bed 2 bath. 2-bed 2 bath comes with 2 different layouts, but these 2 layouts are quite similar. So first one is our B4P. B4P is our north facing 2-bed 2 bath. For our B3P is facing the pool, also the south facing. Okay, the only difference. Okay, so now we come to the 2-bed 2 bath. 2-bed 2 bath comes with actually three types. The first 2 types is 2-bed 2 bath. The third type actually is the 2 plus study. So now we are just gonna compare side by side this 2-bed 2 bath without study first. It offers 2 facing or 2 stacks. One is north facing and one is south facing. Both are 700 square feet. For south facing, of course, you have the pool view. And for the differences, actually not very huge. For your B3P offers you a longer foyer, but the B4P is slightly shorter. This will actually give you like a will give you an impression whereby this one might look like a more spacious layout or a more spacious unit lah, but in square feet wise it's actually the same. This is quite important because it's all about the visual. Subsequent buyer thinks that this is more spacious, they will be more keen compared to the other one which is offering the same unit size. Okay, secondly, the difference comes in the kitchen and the orientation, kitchen and the dining orientation, and here. For your B3P, it offers the configuration like this, right? If you put your dining here, it's very well tucked in. You don't have to, there's no exposure to other doors or other rooms lah. But whereas if you look at B4P, right? For B4P, you have to put your dining here, or let's say it's here. So it might be your bedroom and your bath or even a master bedroom might be exposed to your guests. So if this is a concern for you, you might want to opt for the B3P instead for the dining area. Okay, so your 2-bed 2 bath plus study. One thing that stands out for me actually is the size of the 2-bed 2 bath plus study. It's 807 square feet. The Ori has 3-bedder compact, is 850 square feet. Okay, so we go into the details on how the configuration is. Come in, there's an enclosable kitchen. The study is here. I feel the study is very well positioned in the sense whereby, right, it can be a workspace. This is also outside the kitchen. This might also be like your lounge area, your bar area, or maybe just a mini dining area. This whole piece.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, if not, it could just be like a study area, like workspace. If not, you don't need workspace, you can put it like a storage. You can close it to become a full storeroom. Then the rest of it, I think, is mostly about the same compared to the 2-bed 2 bath without study. Of course, it only comes with 1 stack which is facing south. So total, there are 3 types of 2-bed 2 bath. Which one will you buy? Of course, firstly, I will put this into 2 groups. One is a 2-bed 2 bath, one is a 2 plus study. Why? Not just because of the layout. It's of course of the square feet also. Okay, the difference between these 2 square feet is about 107 square feet. So 107 square feet, actually, if you were to times into the PSF and how much you are buying into, right, actually that's quite a big significant difference. Okay, so if you want to buy a 2-bed 2 bath, this is what we will suggest. If you are buying the 2-bed 2 bath without the study, right, we suggest you buy a low floor B4P. Okay, so B4P meaning to say it's a south facing. Sorry, it's the north facing. Okay, so B4P is the north facing. Why? It's safe, like I mentioned. If you buy low floor or high floor, I don't think it really matters if you were to rent it out. Okay, so I feel that for 2-bed 2 bath here is actually a very good size. Either rent or own stay. Because own stay, if you buy north, right, you high floor or low floor, I think it still offer you a very good view. But however, if you are buying the B3P, right, you might be concerned about overpaying for the high floor south view because it offers you a better view. If you buy a south view low floor, right, you might be affected by the expressway. So I think overall, I think buy the B4P makes more sense. Why you consider the 2 bed, 2 bath plus study, right? The only reason is you are actually buying it with a purpose to stay yourself. So for such a big space of a 2 bed, 2 bath plus study, right, I think it will be a very, very cozy space. Of course, buy it with lesser note on the investment, more of your own stay. If you actually really like the Clementi area, or like you need to be in the Clementi area because of work, or maybe because of your kids, right? I think you should do that because it gives you a very, very big area for 2 bed, 2 bath. Now we go to the 3 bedrooms. 3 bedrooms comes with 2 different layouts. The first 3 bedroom layout is C1, is 926 square feet. The second layout is C2P, 1023 square feet. They are all the same facing north. So meaning to say all the 3 bedroom in ELTA is facing north. Okay, the key difference between these two, apart from the size itself, right? Firstly, C1 offers you a very traditional layout, an L-shaped layout. C2P is a dumbbell layout with the bedroom 3 at the side, which creates a very mini junior master from what I see. Okay, so your C1, actually the foyer to kitchen is like this. C2P has a dry kitchen. Okay, so for me, I will feel that the dry kitchen appeals to me more because if you remove the island top, right, your whole dining and living is very, very spacious.
One long one.
Yeah, however, if you were to go back to C1 and C, right, it's a zigzag thing. I would think that this offers you privacy, but it will make the unit look a bit narrower. Apart from that, actually C2P, fun fact, C2P will provide you with a Stygian auto laundry rack.
Wow.
So which is actually here. And of course, they will give you a water dispenser. Okay, for this unit type, but whereas C1 don't have lah. For the 3 bedder compact, it doesn't provide.
That's a good deal.
Okay, so for C2P, it has a study. This study you can actually easily convert into a storeroom because it's linked to the kitchen. If you don't want it to be a storeroom, it's okay also. You conceal the study, or rather you conceal this side, then you treat it like a study, no problem also. But whereas for your C1, right, one concerning thing is that you don't have a study or you don't have a store also. I feel that for a 3 bedder, quite important to have store. But this is only my opinion. So I think so far, the things that I mentioned, I think the 1023 is a more superior layout compared to 926. This one I want to bring you back to the Ori also, because the Ori actually offers you a 850 square feet and a 1023 square feet 3 bedder. 850 square feet 3 bedder, right, actually is also compact. But the compact, right, it gives you a store. So that means when people buy into 850 or 1023, right, actually can be the same type of profile. Like cause both gives you the very similar configuration despite it being a smaller unit. So when people want to buy 3 bedder, right, they can think of 850 or 1023. So when they are at ballot, right, they can also open up these two options. But however, for ELTA, right, 926 and 1023, the size difference is not as big compared to the Ori. I would think that these two are actually of a different unit class already. Okay, it's just that 1023 is a lot superior based on your dining configuration, and also most importantly, there's a study area that can give you a storage lah. Okay, so I think this 1023 layout outright win the layout compared to 926 square feet. Okay, so furthermore, Clermont also for these 2 bed type, right, they also have a compact, they also have like a premium 3 bedder. Their configuration is about the same. It's just that Clermont one is 1958, one is 1130 before harmonization. So for the competitive edge, I don't think it's very, very big difference. Whereas for the 4 bedroom, there are 4 types of layouts for 4 bedroom. The first 2 actually will be your D1 and D2P. These are 4 bedrooms without the study lah. Okay, so one is 1184 square feet. Another one is 1313. For D1, actually, you have a south-facing pool view. But for the D2P, you get a north-facing lah. Okay, so the difference between these two is D1 actually offers you a bigger entrance foyer. Okay, compared to your D2P. Okay, so for D1, actually it will be a store. D2B is a home shelter. So you see the difference between the store and the home shelter, right? The size is different compared side by side. Okay, your D2B has 3 baths, including the junior master bath 1, 2, 3, and WC. Whereas your D1 actually gives you only 2 baths, 1 and the master bath and WC lah. Okay, so that means, right, bathroom 2, right, shared by 3 people. 1, 2, 3. Unless you want to use the WC lah. Okay, whereas for D2B, your junior master has his own bath, and then this bathroom 3 is only shared by these 2. Okay, so I think for this one, actually D2B will gives you more convenience. Okay, then for the junior master at D2B, right, actually even though a junior master, but junior master is usually made to have more privacy. Usually for 4-bedder, it will be at another side of the area and create a dumbbell layout lah. But for this one, even though it's junior master, it's just beside the master bedroom, so I don't think it offers so much of a privacy. Okay, so this is why I will come into the 4-bedroom dual key, which is the third layout for the 4-bedder in ELTA. So just now the D3K and just now the D2P, right, is the same size, 1313 for both. For your D2P is north facing, your dual key unit is southwest facing. Okay, so for your dual key is actually one is your studio space, which is a 1-bedder or studio space. This will give you a full 3-bedder. Okay, whereas if you are considering the junior master versus the full studio, right, this will offer you a lot more privacy based on the configuration like this. Okay, this is, I said, apart from the other side also for your living, dining, and your master is here. It's further from the master. Okay, so of course, apart from, if you're comparing just junior master and the studio together, the studio offers you a full kitchenette, your own private balcony, and like I mentioned, it's tucked away from the other bedrooms. So for junior master wise, right, this one will give you more privacy lah. Okay, then for D2P, it will actually provide a longer or like a more spacious living area compared to a dual key. Then of course D2P will give you a home shelter, and the dual key will give you a store here. Okay, so in conclusion, I feel like dual key gives you more flexibility because apart from own stay, the dual key you can still rent it out without actually affecting your privacy. For 4-bedder will be a more traditional layout lah. Okay, so now we go through the 4-bedroom plus study. So 4-bedroom plus study is 1507 square feet, which is quite a big size for a 4 plus study. Whereas Clermont before harmonization is 1356. Let's just deep dive into what are the differences between these two. For ELTA, it provides 3 baths. So 1, 2, and your master bath. Then for your Clermont, right, only 2. Very similar to what we see on the 4-bedroom premium in ELTA that we mentioned earlier. Okay, so ELTA gives you a better configuration for the study. The study is located here, where the study is located here at Clermont, which is linked to the bedroom 2. Okay, so I think it's also based on preference play. It will benefit the bedroom 2 user. But I would think like if it's swapped, right, I think it's better to benefit the master bedroom user so that we can create a walk-in wardrobe or their own private workspace as well. But for the study, I feel like for ELTA, the study is more towards the living room. I think it's more of like a sharing space whereby the different family members can use. ELTA will give you a wider frontage compared to your Clermont. Apart from ELTA and Clermont, right, the Clermont canopy doesn't have a 4 plus study. ELTA for 4 plus study will give you a pool view, then Clermont doesn't have a pool view. Okay, so in this way, if you're comparing this D4S in ELTA, right, versus this 4 plus study Clermont, right, 1356, right, like in space wise, I would prefer the ELTA one because the configuration is a lot better than Clermont one. But however, one thing to note that actually Clermont has another 4 plus study, and this 4 plus study comes with a private lift. Okay, so this is the second variation of the Clermont's 4 plus study. So it has a private lift, it's 1582 square feet. It has a pool view, south facing. The facing wise and the pool view wise is very similar to ELTA. Okay, but look at the study here at Clermont. It's what I actually mentioned just now. Your master is linked to the study.
It's nice.
Yeah, this will actually benefit, like I mentioned just now, your walk-in wardrobe or maybe your workspace. Yeah, I would totally love this workspace so that I can actually segregate my rest space. Biggest appeal is still the private lift. Like be it you want or not to have a private lift is still like an advantage for you. For the Clermont, right, the junior master is actually tucked into the other side of the unit, so that it offers the privacy that junior master should have. And then the home shelter is also very well positioned. So I think if you are to compare the this same 4+ study in ELTA, right, compared to this Clermont with a private lift, right, I think now the perspective might have changed a bit lah. Because now it's the same size. That means your quantum you are looking at about the same actually. But however, ELTA will be launching at a higher price because it's 5 years newer. So I think if let's say you compare to these two, right, Clermont will still be the superior one compared to your 4+ study in ELTA. So 5-bedder, there are only 35 units in ELTA. Of course, for this, right, we will also compare directly with Clermont. Clermont, same thing, 5-bedder, they also have a private lift. So I think Clermont will still have a big advantage even though ELTA launched in terms of the 4-bedder and the 5-bedder. I think the private lift impact is quite big. Why I say this because 5-bedder is the most expensive unit type you can get in the condo. So this is what Clermont can actually offer. 5-bedder, I'm not saying that it's very, very bad. It's just that it just lost the private lift element to the luxurious experience lah. Cause ELTA, your junior master is also tucked in the other side, which offers you the good privacy. Yeah, then apart from that, the master also is a good configuration. You can have like a walk-in wardrobe directly from the master bath. But however, Clermont, the master room configuration is also not that bad either. Okay, so if you are looking at to buy a 5-bedroom in ELTA, right, for us, you might want to take a look at the Clermont ones which are available for sale to see the comparison before you buy, because I think I think the private lift actually stands out for Clermont.
The lift elevates the experience.
Elevates.
Yes.
No pun intended. Okay, so adding on, ELTA has 2 junior master. This is 1. This is 2. Okay, so it also comes with a powder room and a yard. So my powder room is here, just right outside the junior master. Your yard, my yard is here. Okay, so for yard wise, Clermont lose out because Clermont doesn't have a yard lah. Clermont has a wet and dry kitchen only. Okay, but however, losing a yard to get a private lift, for me, I feel like private lift is still more worth it for the exit strategy when you want to sell it to a next big family with a better or rather good spending power and want to have something better for their family lah. Okay, so ELTA being like a very, very tall project, I think I will bring back what I say in Ori is buying high floor or low floor. I just want to emphasize that actually buying low floor or high floor is there's no right, no wrong, and I'm not saying that when you buy high floor you are at a losing end. Okay, it's not this way because for projects like the Ori, like Atra, like Clermont, right, all these they have a disparity in the view. So when you buy a low floor and a high floor, right, the view is very, very different. So in that manner, right, actually you are buying into a different product. You are not buying higher and you are paying higher. I don't think that's a very fair comparison. So when you buy at a high floor, right, for example, we just use Clermont directly. Like for this person who buy 32nd floor, yes, they bought at almost 200 PSF higher. They buy at 2.5 million. Second floor one, buy at 2.3 million. Second floor, I don't think there is much view or like rather like an elevator view because it's second floor. The second floor, I think more or less you have a very unblocked view. So even though you pay higher, right, the profit you earn, right, is also higher because when you sell a unit with a view, right, usually when the buyer really keen on the view, they'll get slightly more emotional compared to just facts and numbers. Because when they see the view and then for buyers they really like the view, right, they might want to overpay for the view. Same for the first buyer who has bought the Clermont. Definitely when they buy the high floor, definitely they are more keen on getting an unblocked view unit. So having said that, but paying more doesn't mean you will lose. Sometimes in Cleveland 3-bedder situation, right, you pay more, but you also earn more. Okay, but of course, having said that, buying high floor is okay. It's just that we have to see the in the end how much ELTA launch for the higher floors, so that we will know like what will be the very very good price to justify the purchase. So if you have any doubts on the entry price for the high floor or the low floor for ELTA, right, feel free to contact us and we can get you through like what kind of prices you should be buying into. We are almost at the end of our analysis for ELTA, but before we go, actually there are a few things that we want to just I want you to take note. So if let's say you want to join the ballot and then your ballot is this number, what should you buy and what can you actually buy? If this actually you need help in this, you feel free to let us know. We can guide you through. Few things to take note is firstly, of course, like I mentioned, high floor or low floor, which one should you buy? And of course, most importantly, for some of the unit types which are very very similar, right? For example, 2-bed 2-bath. Which one should you buy in your situation or your budget? Because 2-bed 2-bath without study and study is different. 2-bed 2-bath. If you buy to rent, is it better to buy 2-bed 1-bath instead? Will the rental be a lot different between these two? If you want to find out more, let us know. And of course, the 4-bedder has 4 layouts. If you want us to further analyze on like which one will benefit you more or like suit you more, we can have a chat to actually help you further on this. Okay, so lastly, of course, the northern view, southern view. Northern will be safer facing. Southern, the high floor is good. Low floor, you might want to think again. So this one we'll be more than happy to actually guide you through this. Okay, so for now, we have actually come to the end of the ELTA analysis video. ELTA and part-time residences will be launching on the same day. So the next video we're going to do is about part-time residences. So after the next video, the last part of the next video, we will actually compare between ELTA and Parktown. And if you are an investor who are looking to either buy into ELTA or Parktown, please stay tuned for the next video so that you have a more informed decision.
So that's all from us for now. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.